All right, y'all, what's going on? What's going on, y'all? Good to see y'all. Good to see y'all on this evening, man. It's good to see y'all on this evening, man. Good to see y'all. Thank y'all so much for coming in, y'all. I really don't have too much to say as far as with this introduction. So just y'all just keep tapping the screen and just get those likes up, and we can get started. Yeah, so just get those likes up. Get those likes up, and y'all, you said we got LaGrange and Houston and Contreras, Montana. We got Tennessee in the house, New Jersey. Um, who else we got in the Who else we got in the house? Damn, Sherman, Texas, Lake City, Florida, Thurgood Marshall, North Carolina. I see all of y'all in here. Yeah, man, I appreciate y'all coming on in. Fat Boo, Larry, Holmes, Randy, good to see you. Pamela, Crystal, man, it's good to see y'all. Amy, I see you in the house. I see Rick James in the house. Is that Michael Jackson in the house? I see you. Um, so uh, while everybody's coming into the room, y'all listen here. Normally I would do a lot of joking. I would do a lot of joking around, but this live today is uh so y'all know how when and thank y'all so much for tapping the screen, man. Y'all are amazing. Um so y'all know how we've been talking about we've been going on and on about Allie and her split personalities, and we've been talking about her dissociative identity disorders. We've been talking about how her stories never match up, and how between between the ages of 13 and 15, it seems to be the magic number, right? Um, and we joked and we laughed, and you know, but the more you do research into understanding this behavior, Fort Worth, Texas, I see you. Um, the more you do work and and dig and dive and with the help of you all sending me different links and videos to watch, honestly, I wasn't expecting to go down this road. And well, we're in the rabbit hole now, right? And I know we've been getting on Allie and her lying, combative ways. We've been talking about Shelly, how she just completely just dismantled a family, and now what we have to do now as a family is we have to understand this behavior. We need to understand what's going on, what happened, what's going on inside of Allie's mind, her head. 1 minute, so we understand she speak about her alters, multiple personalities, and how Shelley talked about having the baby mind being split when it's first born or sometimes in the womb. And then yesterday we saw Allie talk, regurgitate the same exact thing. Um, the question now is, why do Shelley she feels the need to come up with these stories? Why is it in Shelley's best interest to feed these allegations to Tori and allow Tori to put her spin on it as if she's a victim? What is the goal here? Many people ask that question. What are we doing here? What's going on? Why is Shelley doing this to Tori? Why did Shelley enter into Allie's life when she was 13 years old? What is the root cause here? We all want to know, right? Why did she choose Tori? Why did she choose Tori and changed her into Allie Carter? Why is that? Honestly, y'all, I think will be our question will be answered tonight. I watched this video that you see right here. I watched this video that one of you all sent to me a few days ago. And it took me a few days to look at the video. That's why I never responded. Because y'all send me videos after videos. Grave Eyes, watch this. Grave Eyes, look at this. Look at that. And some of the videos, I was like, no, I'm not putting it on my live stream because it don't have nothing to do with what we're trying to accomplish here, right? So when I ran across this one and I listened to this shit, that what allowed me to come up with this background that y'all see behind Allie. All right. Let me remove the iPad just for a moment. All right. That what allowed me to come up with, you see those different faces and how I got Shelly positioned looking dead at those different faces. She's looking at it like, I got a lot of work to do. I did this on purpose. When you see this video, this is one of those lives to where it's going to take everything inside of me to try to make y'all laugh. Because honestly, this is not one of those lives. So I'm really going to need everybody to sit down. If you are doing something, I need you to get away from people because it's a lot of negative energy finna be thrown out through this live. All right. So if you got sage or praying ain't gonna help this. So don't even try to do any type of praying. If y'all prayers ever worked, we wouldn't be in this position right now. All right. So what I need everybody to do when you watch this video, the whole time, I just need y'all to send positive vibrations towards Tori's Outlaw's way, wherever she's located. Also, including her mother, her sisters, her nieces, her nephews. I just need y'all to throw positive energy that way, wherever that may be. Because one thing about the universe never lies. I'm getting chills right now, just even. All right. So, damn. All right. Let's go. Let's get it. So, okay. Side note, you said it's a tornado warning in Minnesota right now. So if you're in the Minnesota area or the surrounding states, and I'm more likely, I think that storm is heading to the east. It's like southeast, but more so to the east. If you're in that area, y'all, please, 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 please. Something ain't right. Hold on, y'all. Something ain't right. What the freak? Why is it I'm getting a Storm Chasers chat? Okay. Y'all, it's a just to let y'all know it's a tornado warning in Minnesota. So let me go ahead. Thank you. Let me go ahead and start this video. Y'all just like I said, turn your volumes up. If you're watching this stream on YouTube or your TV, cut the TV up. But also, if you got sage or anything that's if you a Christian, you pray. Hey, Hey, this is going to be the line for it. All right. So let me go ahead and start this, and y'all just sit back and relax, and I will intervene so we don't get clicked by TikTok. All right. So let me switch this over. All right, y'all pay attention. Let's go.
Two troubled women. Both sought help from some of the top doctors in the country. The diagnosis? Satanic ritual abuse.
It was like going deeper and deeper into an abyss.
After millions of dollars in treatment, the women now say the doctors were wrong.
It stopped because I stopped following Dr. Braun's orders.
Tonight on Frontline, the search for Satan.
Funding for Frontline is provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by annual financial support from viewers like you. This is Frontline.
Don't tell me I'm stupid. I'm not stupid.
Mary's
stupid.
Mary's getting better. You're sick. Mary's getting better. You're sick.
Stupid. I hate her.
Mary has people that care about her, take care of her. You don't have any person that cares about you.
When I look back, I can't believe it ever happened to me.
You could join therapy.
Mary S. spent 3 years in psychiatric wards, diagnosed as a victim of satanic ritual abuse.
You and Bobby ruined it.
I was told that I was raised in a satanic cult.
Sorry about that, y'all. Forgot to cut my mic on. Thank y'all. So once again, when it comes to you hearing her, they're talking about satanic ritual abuse. All right, how she's a victim. If you notice with Shelly and Allie, that's what they've been talking about a lot when it comes to satanic ritual abuse, but more so Shelly. And if you listen to them now, they're talking about it even more. All right.
And when you're raised in a satanic cult, you abuse people, even the people that you love.
Everybody around you's in the cult. You don't know what it is to be a person. You don't even know that I'm smart enough to love your daughter and get her out of the cult.
Oh.
It was like going deeper and deeper and deeper into an abyss. There was no end. It was like a bottomless pit of horrors. I really believed that I would either end up in a psych unit for the rest of my life, or that when my insurance ran out, that I would live underneath a bridge as a bagwoman.
Mary's journey, paid for by her insurance company, took her into one of the most controversial areas in modern psychiatry. It began 6 years ago when Mary lived with her husband Joe and her 8-year-old son Ryan in the suburbs of Chicago. He worked in telecommunications. She was a school teacher.
They were the typical loving family.
Meredith Schreiner and her husband were close friends with Joe and Mary.
They were very good friends as well as lovers, and they were very close. They had a good relationship. She also had a wonderful relationship with her child. Mary was a great mom with Ryan. Just a great mom, had tons of patience.
I'm going to make this a little bit smaller, y'all.
In 1988, Mary fell into a deep depression.
I started having panic attacks. not being able to eat, losing a lot of weight, not being able to sit still, not being able to concentrate. So I went to a psychiatrist to get medication.
She found a counselor that was recommended by a friend and went to her. And within a
Now, the only thing I ask for everybody to do while this live is going, just tap the screen. Um, just keep tapping the screen, y'all. And once again, y'all, I'm just giving y'all a fair warning. This live is going to be very dark. But for us to continue to call out Allie and Shelly, we got to understand what's going on behind the scenes and why so many people is involved, right? Why is she watch this right here. Has anybody ever asked this question? All these people with the Allie's Angels, the Allie's Army, why is she the only victim? Have anybody ever thought about that? Why is she the only person that they're advocating for? When you see these posts and everything flying around social media, even the ones now, you don't see her with other victims. You just see her. Why is that? That's our job. We need to get into that mind, figure out what's for you to defeat someone. You got to understand. You got to get on their playing field. Understand where the 3-point line is. Oh, that's where the free throw is. Okay, all right. That's where y'all go out of bounds. All right, okay. That's why when you see police officers, for you to catch a criminal, you got to become one. Especially when you do a lot of a lot of people that work on a narc unit. That's the whole reason for undercovers, to blend in, become one. Not in this situation, but understand the movement if you're going to catch the bad guy. So we could talk on the surface all day long. Yeah, Allie lied about this. She lied about that. She wasn't at Diddy house. She wasn't in no freaking baby farms. She wasn't in no fucking tunnels. Why is she saying this? Why?
A few months, she kept getting worse. Anxiety attacks were very bad.
Because I had seizures and blackouts, my therapist felt that I might be suffering from dissociative disorders. And so I went for an evaluation at the best hospital in Chicago with the leading experts in the field.
The hospital was Rush Presbyterian St. Luke's in Chicago, a renowned teaching hospital with a unit specializing in treating the dissociative disorder known as multiple personality disorder. There, Mary met with Dr. Roberta Sachs.
Within the first 5 minutes, I was in her office. She diagnosed me as polyfragmented multiple. Multiplicity was something that we knew nothing about. And so she described multiplicity as taking a vase and dropping it on a cement floor. And that's what had happened to my personality. It had shattered into that many pieces. And that her job as a therapist was to glue those pieces back together into a whole.
So Tori Outlaw has fell to the floor and shattered. Now she have all these alters. Shelly is not there to piece them together. Shelly is there to give those personalities names and label them as alters. That's why she had to pull Tori away from her family. Anybody that she knew, she had to put, anybody that she was familiar with, her surroundings, she had to pull her away from that. And her job was to rebrand Tori into Allie. That's why she had to get her at such an early age. That is correct, Maria.
Mary was 38 by then. Her life had not been easy. Growing up, she had a learning disability. When she was 19, she was brutally date raped, became pregnant, and gave the child up for adoption. After her marriage and the birth of her son, she underwent a hysterectomy and developed seizures. Her husband was a recovering alcoholic. Finally, shortly before the onset of her depression, she was attacked in a hallway at the school where she taught. Still, Mary says, her therapist, who had attended a seminar on satanic cult abuse, thought that that might be another explanation for her depression. Mary wondered. She went to church.
It is my opinion that history will mark April of 1989 as the month when Americans were forced to pull their heads out of the sand.
There's a very large church in our area, and during the time that Mary was trying to find herself through counseling and find out why she was having anxiety attacks, they were having a series on cults in this church. A series meaning 8-9 weeks of sermons on that.
Now I want y'all to understand, Maria said something that was very important, and I don't want to mislead anyone. All right. So Shelley is a psychologist, right? So she know how to get into the minds and manipulate people's minds, right? And that's what she have done to Tori, that later became Allie Carter. This lady she's actually a victim. So you will hear a lot of stuff in her testimonies that's going to match, more than like 90% that's going to match what you see in Allie Carter and Shelley's relationship. So y'all got to remember this. The only thing Shelley and Allie do is just sit around, drive around in that van, and they just be on the internet. So Shelley has a lot of time to research this stuff to keep Allie where she needs to keep her. That's how she's able to say, make Allie think that she's an actual victim. That's why no matter where she go, she will introduce herself as what? A sex trafficking survivor. And we all know that she's not a survivor at all.
April of 1989, Satanism came out of the closet for everyone to see it in all of its ugliness. The Satan worshippers that pose the greatest threat to our society are the secret splinter groups. Scores of clandestine groups are meeting right here in our neighborhood, and the amount of activity is on the rapid increase.
Good to see you, Milkos.
Several churches in our immediate area have been broken into recently. And
even though it was bizarre, it seemed to be an answer for her as to why she was anxious and why she was scared and why she was nervous.
Don't think that this satanic activity isn't going on in our community, because it is. In fact,
it was not a new idea. 10 years before, the bestseller, Michelle Remembers, told the story of a young woman who had traced the source of her unhappiness to repressed memories of being satanically abused by her family. Soon, newspapers and magazines were full of stories of abuse at the hands of satanic cults. Stories involving cannibalism, human sacrifice, blood rituals. The abuse was so terrible, some therapists said, that it caused children to develop multiple personalities as a defense against the pain.
That baby's inside of a womb. Who tells these stories? It starts with the baby inside the womb. You can't make this shit up. You really can't make this shit up, man. And listen, I ain't gonna hold y'all. This shit is heavy, man. This shit, god damn. Because it's like it's been almost a year, not solid, But when I actually first started speaking on Allie's situation, right? But just, for us to get to this point, to understand why, boy, this shit right here, boy.
Then television joined in.
Magazine 2020.
The Geraldo Rivera Special.
By 1988, when Geraldo Rivera's highly rated special on Satanism was broadcast, Satanic ritual abuse was considered who firmly believed that many of their patients were survivors of satanic cults.
Here in Chicago, a group of well-known therapists from all over the country had the courage to share horror stories.
We're talking about people in some cases who are coming to us as patients who were raised in satanic cults from the time they were born.
I have letters in my file from over 40 states in the United States and several provinces of Canada and one from England with very similar data.
If just a tiny bit of it is true, it's appalling, and there's a need for somebody to do something.
Part of the power of the cult, both with the individual and with the others around it, is its ability to induce fear.
Dr. Bennett Braun became a leading spokesman on the connection between MPD and ritual abuse.
It needs to be done. It needs to be looked at.
It was to Dr. Braun and his colleague Roberta Sachs of Chicago that Mary had turned for diagnosis and treatment. Mary's reasons for admission, according to her hospital records, read, "Patient is a victim of satanic ritualistic abuse. Diagnosis of MPD." Mary's vague fears of having been abused in a cult now received the stamp of professional certainty. She was surprised to discover, she said, that her doctors seemed to know more about her family's history than she did.
Roberta Sachs came in and told me that victims throughout the country had identified me as the fifth-generation cult, that we were high up in the cult, that we were cult royalty.
Who's we?
My family, my parents, my sisters, and I.
Once hospitalized, Mary began regular therapy sessions with Dr. Braun and Roberta or Bobby Sachs.
Most of the sessions were about memory. And many of the sessions were with my husband, Joe. He would come to the sessions, and the two of us would sit down, and they would ask questions about, who we knew from church, who was in the people in the school district, what I knew about their personal life, who we socialized with, trying to get more and more information about the cult. And
but is this a treatment, or was this an investigation?
All right, so I'm going to pause it right there. If y'all can, if I can get everybody to tap the screen, if y'all don't mind. So TikTok won't flag the page, if y'all don't mind. Do that for your boy, Great Vibes, all right? And again, man, I'm looking at the comments, and man, it's nothing for me to say right now. It's really not anything for me to say. So, because I don't want to take away from the message here. Fat Boo said this pissed me off for real, for real. Oh, y'all, it haven't even got started yet. What you're going to hear in this victim's testimony, you're going to hear Tori. You're going to hear Allie. You're going to hear Shelly. You said she is studying her? Wow. You said she bamboozled us all? She sure has. So resilience. So once again, and like I tell everybody, if you want to know anything, because it's kind of, when people ask, hey, is Allie lying? It's like, man, like everybody that has been following this channel for a while, a lot of work been going behind this. A lot of work. A lot. So it's like, is she lying? That's like an understatement, right? The question, like I said, the question is why? Why her? Why 13, 14, and 15 is such that magical number? Why? Let's continue. Thank y'all so much for tapping the screen. YouTube, thank y'all so much for tapping the screen. Major says Shelly is getting her material from this. Wow. You literally like the fourth person that said that. Fat Boo, you said you watched it. Oh yeah. So a few people on here have seen this episode. I mean, seen this right here, and they saying it. Hey, this right. This, when we get done with this live, a lot of you all going to be pissed the fuck off. And I'm just being honest.
Felt like an investigation, and in fact, oftentimes I would say to Bobby, all you want is information from me. And she'd say, no, we're concerned at getting that.
I'm sorry. Resilience, yes, we covered Kathy O'Brien. But once again, we got to understand we're dealing with a psychiatrist here. So, try to debunk a psychiatrist and call her bullshit out. That takes a lot of work, because she got all the time in the world, and she got a whole cult of people that's just feeding her information, and they are just supporting this behavior. That's why they have the Alice Army and the 90s Nation and the Alice Angels. They need these groups. They need it.
For you to get better. But if I didn't have any information, they didn't have any time for me, especially Dr. Braun.
Dr. Braun prescribed the medication. He put Mary on a variety of medications.
Damn.
Among them Halcyon, Klonopin, Xanax, Prozac,
Damn.
and on experimentally high doses of the heart medication Inderal. Heavily medicated, Mary says she lived in fear.
Damn.
They told me that I had already been programmed that if I divulged the secrets from the cult, that I would self-destruct. And that my programming had just been turned on at age 39.
How did they know that?
Because they were the experts.
This some bullshit.
They were experts. They said, we've been studying this for 15 years. We've done research. We've this phenomena is happening all over the world. We're the experts. We've written books. We give lectures. People come to our hospital. Other doctors come to our hospital and are trained by us because we are the experts.
In fact, Mary's doctors were considered leading experts in their field. In November of 1994, Dr. Braun was honored at the annual conference of the International Society for the Study of Multiple Personality and Dissociation.
We owe a tremendous debt of gratitude to Dr. Braun.
Most of the big names in the field were there. Gloria Steinem was keynote speaker and guest of honor.
And the burden for keeping all of this afloat was Dr. Braun's absolutely far beyond the contribution of anybody else in the field of the society.
I want to assure everybody that Rush intends to continue its commitment to ongoing professional education in the field of dissociation. We are currently...
It was because of her doctor's reputations, Mary says, that she persevered in her treatment, despite her fears and her growing misgivings.
I had doubts all along the way. My journal is just full of statements. This can't be true. This is a nightmare. I've made this up. I mean, my whole life, my whole world had been turned upside down at that point. Here, I go from being this teacher and having a normal life and doing normal things to a cult royalty.
In an educational video, Dr. Sachs explained,
Very few patients who have been ritually abused come in and say, I've been ritually abused, and I've been through this torture and that torture, and I've been pregnant this many times and aborted this many times and forced to participate in cannibalism, and on and on and on. On the contrary, these people do everything they can to deny the existence of that. We're trying to help.
Dr. Sachs explained in her records what was wrong with Mary. Mary had an estimated 15 developed child alters, some with twins, and a system with 7 cult alters, but was unaware of their existence. Mary was encouraged to cut off contact with most family members and friends outside the hospital.
"15 altars and 7 cult altars. Man, y'all, just hold the fuck on, man. Man, I should have detoxed before I did this fucking live. I should have fucking detoxed. That's what the fuck I should have did. Miss Outlaw, how are you? Good to see you, sweetheart. If anybody is coming in now, right now I'm not even worried about the numbers because this got to get out on YouTube. I got to get this video out. I would suggest you all to go back and watch this from the beginning. Right now we've been live for 43 minutes. We probably been playing the video for 30 minutes. I suggest you all, after this live, go back and watch it. All right? Let's continue.
Meredith had not seen her friend in months.
She was lost to us totally. We had no idea where she was.
She contacted Mary's husband, Joe.
I asked if we could visit her, and he said no. And I said, well, how about if I can call her, send her a card, whatever? He said, no, you may have no contact with her at all. None of her friends could have contact. We couldn't talk to her. She couldn't talk to us. This was the doctor's orders, and that's the way it was going to be.
Mary was cut off.
I had no way to test my reality. There were a lot of nurses and things that I went to and I said, is this reality? And they all reinforced, yes, it was, that I was really in the best of care and that, this was such a new field. And we were always being told we were the pioneers. We were on the cutting edge of this field, and that what they were doing with us would shape the treatment of MPDs in future generations.
Multiple personality disorder. We've all seen it dramatized on television.
Even though it was controversial, Dr. Braun's work was considered to be on the cutting edge of treatment for MPD.
There's just one facility devoted solely to its treatment. And as Channel 5's Rick Salinger reports, it's here in Chicago. Rick?
Ron and Carol, it's located in that canyon of condominiums along Sheridan Road north of Hollywood. Dr. Bennett Brown founded the Dissociative Disorders Unit 1 year ago as part of Rush Presbyterian St. Luke's Medical Center. Meet Pat.
I'm 32. I'm married. Have 2 children.
By outward appearances, she is normal, but inside are dozens of different people. Where would Pat be without this unit?
I wouldn't be alive. Chances are my children and husband wouldn't be alive either.
Pat Burgess was one of the first patients on the unit in 1986. She arrived after having been in a depression for 3 years, following the difficult birth of her second son. When a social worker diagnosed her with MPD, she sought help at Rush.
These were the experts. They were in a very well-respected teaching institution.
I turned to that teaching institution for state-of-the-art medical care, cutting-edge medical care. I didn't turn to them for fringe therapy, some goofy, controversial crap.
What do you hear her say?
That the hurting is over.
Dr. Braun often treated me like his star patient. I would have to teach other residents and doctors and media people.
If I can everybody please tap the screen for the next 15 seconds, if y'all don't mind. For the 3 people that's been tapping the screen, thank y'all. All right, them just get yes, Peanut, yeah. You said this is like Allie. That's why I'm glad that y'all are seeing what's going on here to get into the minds of Shelley. That's the whole goal, is to get into her mind. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. And like I said, don't expect me to say too much, because I don't want to take away from what we are learning here together. All right, we almost at 40, y'all. Let's go ahead and push it at 40. We almost there. We almost there, y'all. All right, we at 39. Jackie, Peanut, Jackie, damn, everybody has been gifted. Thank y'all so much for donating to the platform. Really appreciate it. All right, are we at 40? We at 40. Thank y'all so much. Everybody that tapped the screen, thank y'all. We at 40.
People about multiple personality disorder.
Who's there?
Sarah.
How old are you, Sarah?
I'm 5.
I was supposed to switch personalities for the camera.
Who's this?
Karen.
Karen, you don't seem too happy.
I'm not.
Dr. Braun and I kind of rehearsed that a few times to make sure that it looked believable for the interviewer. I was supposed to talk about how if it wasn't for Dr. Braun, I wouldn't be alive.
Where would Pat be without this unit?
No, I wouldn't be alive.
Patty says that Dr. Braun both pushed her to remember things that didn't occur and then believed her stories. After a year in the hospital, Patty traced the satanic history of her family back to the 17th century.
Satanic cult practices have been passed down through the paternal side of the family.
Dr. Braun asked me to write up something to do a presentation at his conference. It was supposed to be one of my alter personalities, giving a history about the cult.
The satanic activity has been genealogically traced to a southern Slavic region of Europe during the medieval ages, when her forebears were the supreme monarchs of the blood royal.
I believed that I was a satanic high priestess, that I was controlling a satanic cult in a 9-state region.
I went to Russia. I went to Mexico. I was with Diddy. I was on a B-2 stealth bomber. Do y'all remember? I was down there in the tunnels. Them baby forms was fucked up. Do I need to keep going? See, shit like this, man, I'm gonna be so nice. Oh, I'm gonna be nice. But this is the time where I just shut everything down and just, boy.
Filled with the history of
I took it deadly serious.
satanic worship, torturous human sacrifice, cannibalism, and
I think
brainwashing.
all reality and fantasy just blended together.
Before hospital,
I was drugged, I was hypnotized, and I was mentally ill.
she also knew nothing of
Hypnotized. Did Shelley admit taking Tori to a to be hypnotized on a Friday? Y'all remember that? I told y'all this. And I'm just pausing for TikTok. That's all I'm doing. Yep, a hypnotherapist. That's right, Edie. She was in a trance all weekend. That is correct. Edie, that is 100% correct. Randy said, I'm going in her mind and take. Mary Ann said, hearing this stuff kind of messes up our minds. Like, what is real, right? And the question is what is real? What is fake? Right? Right? This is what you call the matrix, but that's a whole topic that I'm going to cover next year, the beginning of next year, dealing with the matrix.
But I was told that, you know, until I hit bottom, until I dug all of this stuff out, I would never get better, and I would never have a chance for any kind of a future for my children.
Mary says she too was told she had to persevere in her treatment for the sake of her son.
I was told that I was the only one in 5 generations who was given the insight to break this cycle. And if I wanted my son to live and not become, you know, a cultist or to die, then I was responsible for his life.
A turning point in Mary's treatment came when Dr. Sachs asked her to attend a consultation with one of the most important experts in cult programming techniques.
Major, thank you so much for the $9.99 super chat, man. Please, thank you so much. Fat Boosie, I'm here for it. Please like the video. Thank you so much, Randy. Thank you so much. Can let me pin that comment. Listen, Edith, do me a favor, pin Randy's comment on YouTube. Thank you so much for that, Randy.
Dr. Corey Hammond, professor of medicine at the University of Utah. Dr. Hammond lectured often on the origins and practices of the cult.
Okay, Edie.
Very, very systematic brainwashing that comes out of experimentation from Nazi doctors and experimentation in the intelligence community with mind control research, and involves medical technology and is very, very sophisticated.
In one of his lectures, not available to the public, Hammond described his theories about the origins of satanic cult programming, starting with a Jewish collaborator in the Nazi death camps. His name was Greenbaum, alias Dr. Green.
Some of the people then doing the mind control research were Satanists, the Nazi doctors.
And
they have used all the technology. And in fact, the kid who came over, whose name was Greenbaum, changed his name and Americanized it to Green, and got an MD in the state of New York and became known as Dr. Green. And he's at the center of this process and is still around. He's around mid-60s and still alive.
According to Dr. Hammond, Dr. Green developed a secret code based on the Greek alphabet, which the cult used to program its members. Examples: Alpha represented general programming.
Okay.
Beta was sexual programming. Delta was the program for killing. Gamma was the one that therapists should look out for.
All right, this is for educational purposes only, TikTok. This is for educational purposes only. We do not push harm or violence on this channel. I want to make sure that we get this across. Damn. 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 You learn some new shit every day. You said y'all okay? I'm good. It's just, man, this. If y'all man, shit. Listen, I'm telling y'all. After today, it's gonna make y'all look at Tori, Allie Carter, Shelly's situation completely different. Y'all, you gonna move your energy away from Allie. It's gonna be directed towards Shelly and her. Shelly and friends. Just put it like that. Because you got to ask this, right? Thank you, Laura. She said breathe. Watch this right here. We now know, thanks to Randy, that Shelley she graduated from California University, something, right? Something. I forgot something. Baptist, California Baptist. I don't know. Don't even care. She got her bachelor's in psychology. So now this is the question, right? Why she don't have a license to practice psychology? After watching this video, that what popped up in my head. Why don't she have a license to practice psychology? Just a question. All right? Yeah, you're right. It is a separate test. But what I'm asking is why she's in that field of study. She's in that field of study. Why isn't she using her degree to be licensed so she can practice her degree? Why is she so totally connected, right? Just so wrapped around Tory Outlaw?
It was a deception program, teaching misinformation and trickery. Dr. Hammond evaluated Mary.
Is there any part of Mary who knows anything about alpha, beta, delta, or theta?
He hypnotized me and put me in trance, and then he asked me about the Greek alphabet and asked me to name any of the Greek letters of the alphabet that I knew, and I named a few. And then he asked me for the gamma erasure code, and I didn't know what he was talking about.
Mary remembers being told that her Gamma program was still active. That meant she was still loyal to the cult and possibly a danger to the staff and other patients.
But I believe that quite a few of them that we're treating are still involved in cults, and that we should not be treating them if they are. And that's a cruel, terrible thing to say, and that is a danger to them and a danger to us.
Mary says that she was told that besides being a cult plant and a spy, she was now strongly suspected of having ritually abused and programmed her son. He had to be evaluated. She had to be deprogrammed. Dr. Sachs recommended that the work be done in Houston by her colleague, Dr. Judith Peterson.
Hi, Judy. Hi. It's good to see you today.
The two therapists referred patients to each other and had collaborated on...
Great vibes. Can you find a professor from Shelley's college to interview? If one of you all can find one of her professors at her college, and y'all make contact with him or her, just get them my information. Let them know, hey, this is one of your, look, it's in California. Look, this is what you taught, right? This is your product. You said that would be epic. That would be awesome. It really would. Akita, that's a great question. LA Venue said, I saw the video, she was older. All right, let's continue, y'all. And thank y'all so much for the engagement. I really do. What did Randy say? What I miss? You said Shelley created her own cult. And I 100% believe that. I 100% believe that. And before we get started, see, now y'all see how we are brainstorming now. You see what I'm saying? And I like what y'all are doing, right? It's a lot of questions, a lot of open-ended questions that's going on in the chat. Y'all are making statements, but they're questions, right? So, you know, it's just, I really like what y'all are doing. I really like it. Randy, Akita said, so Akita, go on YouTube and address her. She's in the chat.
Programs.
What you're about to see is a role play of an abreaction that
Peterson, a licensed psychologist and PhD, was clinical director of a special unit at Spring Shadows Glen, a private psychiatric hospital in Houston, Texas.
Y'all listen
A
up.
small building surrounded by trees, the hospital was nicknamed Club Med by its patients. Mary would stay there for 2 years. Some of her therapy sessions were taped. In this session, Dr. Peterson is to Mary's right.
Thank you, Edie.
Somebody come out? Can you come all the way out? By the time I got down to Houston, they didn't care what had happened to me. I was identified as a perpetrator and treated as a perpetrator.
Come on out. She knows she's locked in the park. Come all the way out. They're in charge of the accident and they're responsible for it.
They told me that there was someone, some cult altar deep within my system that knew the plan about killing my husband and my son.
Oh my goodness. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. God damn. 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 Shit. Man, what the fuck is Shelly doing, man? All right. I'm just asking questions. Can y'all believe this shit? When we drop this video on YouTube, Shelly, they ain't gonna like this shit. She ain't gonna like this shit at all. All right, because now now you gotta, when the best way to beat somebody at their game is to know their game.
All I needed to do was to let that altar surface.
About the medical plan for Joe High and Mary.
Let that altar surface.
Okay, for Joe and Ryan.
By then, Mary says, she believed it all and tried hard to provide some useful information.
They will look like an accident. Mm-hmm.
They would say, let them come up, bring them up. Let the real cult loyal altars come up and give this plan.
I heard that. What else? What else? What else is dangerous to you? What's the plan? What's the plan? Who's going to kill Joe? Who's got the job? Who'd you get the job to?
I was told that I would go to prison because they knew that I had killed people and that I had abused these children. And
y'all, give me a second. Let's get. And I'm doing this for a TikTok too, right? So they won't do the. Y'all just tap the fucking screen.
I was part of this international network.
All the way out? I hate you so much. From all the way out? All the way out?
Mary's friends had no idea what had happened to her.
I was very concerned at that time that maybe she was dead. I knew she'd call. We were close friends. I knew she would call. Some way, somehow, she would call if she could. And by that point, I was really beginning to doubt what was going on with her and with Joe. And I was just very scared.
Stop hurting people and stop abusing people. That's what it means. Don't worry about feeling guilty. Just stop being a perpetrator.
Mary's husband, Joe, who was working with her doctors, had been persuaded that his wife was indeed in a cult that was intent on killing him, and that Mary's alter personalities had abused their son.
He's been so screwed up by the cult that he has to have professional help to know what it is to be a little boy. Program after program that's got him so confused, he doesn't know what it means to be a normal boy. He's working hard to find out what it is.
Ryan was admitted to the same hospital as his mother, where he was being evaluated for multiple personality disorder and cult abuse. Although he stayed on the unit right next door to her, mother and son were kept apart. Sally McDonald was a nurse on the children's ward.
I knew Ryan as a patient on the children's unit, and he came in as a very normal little boy who was full of joy, full of activity, very normal, talented little kid.
Ryan was one of several children at Spring Shadows who were diagnosed with multiple personality disorder as a result of ritual abuse.
These children came into the hospital as really stable, well-functioning kids. Most of them were admitted with absolutely no idea of why they were there. An example of that is a 13-year-old who was admitted on her 13th birthday. And she was told that that was the date.
There goes that number 13, y'all. That's when Allie said that she was with Snoop Dogg at 13 when she was going to these elite parties at 13.
That she would be initiated into a satanic cult, and that they, by admitting her to the hospital, they were protecting her.
This nurse asked not to be identified.
What I saw are children being admitted with very normal behaviors, being allegedly involved in a cult, not knowing anything about the cult, and then slowly over time being told about that they had parts and they had to look within themselves to find these parts of them. And there was a lot of pressure on them. They went into therapy sessions to identify these parts of them, which eventually became alters, which eventually had names and became part of the multiple personality.
Was she supposedly a member of a cult?
She reported that.
Dr. Peterson supervised the treatment of nearly all the MPD patients in the hospital. Eventually, most of her treatment techniques would be questioned. Among them, her alleged practice of restraining patients at 9 points on their body for hours and sometimes days.
Restraints are a very serious form of treatment to protect a patient, and yet these patients were often kept in restraints for long periods of time, sometimes to satisfy information gathering of Dr. Peterson. She sought to bring
Y'all, do this sound familiar? So do y'all remember when Shelley, she always talks about when she speaks to a certain altar, she would gather as much information as she can, and a lot of times Allie would be under the influence of something. Can't say it online like this. I'm just man, boy. I got you, Akita. She will brag how she would talk to these altars and gather information. And every time when you see, not every time, but the majority of the time when you see Allie on the internet or Tori on the internet, it's a different altar. And Shelley is entertaining those different personalities. That's why when she activates a certain altar, she will embellish that altar. Who you all say was at Diddy parties? Was Denzel there? Was Oprah there? Y'all see what I'm doing? Was Oprah there? Oh. Okay. And they had you on the spinning wheel, right? Okay.
Out different altars while this patient was tied down, and unless these patients produced these altars, those patients stayed in restraints for 8, 16 hours at a time.
The nursing staff was torn and dismayed.
We were truly in the middle of an ethical dilemma. There was a lot of hostility from the psychologist and the psychiatrist. There was also a lot of discussion about the nurses, that the reason there was such a conflict was because the nurses just couldn't, quote, understand what was going on. So the belief was if they just educated us more, we would understand everything.
Dr. Peterson wrote in a letter to the administrator of the hospital, "No education can occur with nurses who still live in the dark ages."
It became very clear to the nurses that if we objected, there would be a reprisal, and that reprisal would be a transfer off the unit, a demotion, in some cases, an actual termination. And that created a very chilling effect. People were afraid to object, and yet they knew, these nurses knew they had to object because they feared violating their Nurse Practice Act.
I didn't feel that I could really live with myself and the kinds of things that I was seeing happen to these children. I felt like these children were being robbed of their childhood.
Dr. Peterson filed a child abuse report against Mary with the Department of Child and Family Services in Illinois, citing that Mary had reported electroshocking her son and abusing him in different places.
Okay, all right. Let me pause right there. Shit, this a lot. Yes, Shelley always talk about the bath tour rituals. Absolutely. 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 You said Keisha and Shelley would give Tori pills and what's weird, she put a boy. Listen. See, Randy. What you're typing, I got to be careful actually saying it because of TikTok guidelines. Y'all, can we get to 65,000 taps? I really appreciate it. Here, let me log in to one of my accounts so I can help y'all tap the screen. Cause I know this shit is intense. I know it is. This shit is crazy. I can't say it, Miss Outlaw. I can't say it out loud. But what you can do is, man, we go Miss Outlaw. We gonna have to talk. We're gonna have to talk. Miss Outlaw, do me a favor. Go over on YouTube and talk with Randy. Because what Randy is saying is she's on top of it. You just gonna stay right here? Okay. Yes. You said she's trying to trademark it. And like I told y'all, if y'all haven't followed Randy yet, man, go over on YouTube and man, follow her channel, man. She's uncovering a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. She's actually putting up stuff now to where she's man, god damn. All right, y'all, let's continue.
Around the country. As for Ryan, Dr. Peterson wrote, Ryan is felt to be a youngster who is highly programmed as a structured, polyfragmented MPD, who has programs for suicide, homicide, and return to the cult. Ryan was 10 years old at the time.
I didn't see him the last few days before he left, but I recently found out that after he'd left, he had gone on to a facility for multiple personalities, and that was very disheartening to me to hear that story.
Real, which I'm doing good.
I was very shocked that I thought he had left the hospital because he was one of the lucky ones that had escaped.
The facility Dr. Peterson referred Ryan to was back in Chicago, next door to the Rush Hospital complex, where his mother had first been hospitalized. Ryan was not the only child to be treated for multiple personality disorder, and
he said, what's YouTube channel so I can catch up on? My YouTube channel name, the handle is same thing, Great Vibes on 10. All right? So go over. Why is that username is oh my fucking god? OMFGAM. And the fuck? That's the longest username I ever seen. Miss Outlaw, I'll talk to you. We will have to talk offline with that one. You said, "Oh my fucking god, Amanda, please." Oh, okay. So that what that means. Okay, gotcha. All right, y'all.
Related abuse. Patty Burgess's two sons, Mikey and John, had spent almost 3 years under Dr. Braun's care at Rush.
The children were put in the hospital because I was told that multiple personality disorder had a genetic predisposition to it, and that the children would definitely develop multiple personality disorder. And by having them in a teaching hospital, they could watch this develop and catch it and treat the children right away for it.
John was hospitalized first at the age of 5 and was quickly diagnosed with multiple personality disorder.
Now you're all in this little Bible. Wasn't that funny, Bob?
Maureen Gannon was the state-required teacher on the children's ward. She spent several hours with John every day.
They said John was MPD.
Right. They said John was in a multiple personality, that he had a multiple personality disorder.
Did you see that?
No, I did not see that. But I felt that was a lack of my own training. I wasn't trained as a psychiatrist, and when they would talk about the various personalities and the subtle differences of them, I did not see those. I couldn't have told you the difference. I could not have pointed out and said this was this personality and this was that personality at any time.
He seemed the same, basically, to you.
Seemed like a kid.
Patty's younger son, Mikey, was hospitalized 7 months after his brother.
Dr. Braun became very concerned about the first Halloween coming up, 1986. And he told us that unless Mikey was in the hospital, he was in mortal danger.
Mikey was then admitted to the hospital on an emergency basis. He was 4 years old. Patty and her children, who were housed in different parts of the hospital, got together in therapy sessions. Patty remembers them as the sticker sessions.
I was supposed to do everything that I could do to encourage and support the children in the telling of these yucky secrets. And the more yucky secrets they were able to tell, the more stickers they got for that day. So the kids were real motivated to do this as well.
Excerpts from the child psychiatrist's notes. John talked about being threatened that someone in his family would be killed if he didn't obey orders. 2 stickers. And another. John related an incident where a black woman was seized by the cult and choked to death. Afterwards,
damn. This for educational purposes only. Damn. Damn. I told y'all this shit gets crazy. Laura asks, hey, are y'all okay? Hell, I'm good. That's why I gotta keep getting away from the camera. This, man, my God, damn. I'm just trying to make sure we still good with TikTok, y'all. Hold on. Do y'all see what man, God damn. I know Miss Outlaw. I know. One thing we gotta understand, we gotta get into the minds of, we gotta get into Shelly's mind. That's the only way we're gonna catch her and take her down. Get into her mind. I told y'all at the beginning of this live stream, this is going to be one of those lives to where this shit is going to be heavy, heavy, heavy. But we got to put this information out. And I told y'all we're turning our attention towards Shelly now. God damn. All right, y'all. We good with TikTok. All right, y'all. We good. Let's go.
Victim was barbecued. 3 stickers. In this California trial, where Dr. Braun testified as an expert witness, he used an example from one of John's sticker sessions to stress the validity of satanic abuse of children.
But I had one child who was just 5 years old talk to me about what it's like to stick a knife in somebody's abdomen and pull it down, and how the intestines pop out and they just blow out, and what it smells like.
The discussion that day was surrounding John cutting open this man's stomach.
Oh, my goodness. Damn. Damn. Y'all, I'm sorry, y'all, but I have to pause it. We don't want to get flagged. You said Allie is always wearing a bandana on her head. What is she covering? Y'all, Miss Outlaw is gonna be fine. I'm trying to eat, and hell, this shit is sick. It's no way around it. This shit is sick. Yes, we're definitely doing this for Tori. 100%. We're doing this for Tori. That's 100% correct. You said go ahead and eat your supper. Wait a minute. God, it's good to see you, sweetheart. Good to walk into the house. Good to see you. Just walked in. Great vibes. Where you at? All right. So we good on TikTok? We good? We good? Okay. Yeah, we good. They ain't damaged the lie. Yeah. I'm trying to keep up with 2 different chats, y'all. With y'all in YouTube. But one thing I can say about my moderators on YouTube, they got YouTube on lock. I really don't have to even mess with YouTube. They got YouTube on lock. And Goddess and everyone else, they got it over here. You say it's called multitasking. I never knew that. All right, y'all, let's continue.
And Dr. Braun was pumping John for some details about how did this happen? What was it like? And John said how he took this knife and he stuck it in this man and how he cut it and cut the man and how his stomach popped open and how it smelled terrible.
In the description of that, having done surgery myself, I know what it's like to open in the belly. And if the anesthesia isn't done right and the muscle relaxant isn't done right, that's exactly what happens. The bowels come right out through the wound. And here's a 5-year-old that can describe to me something I know something about. And have it perfectly as far as I can.
The kids went back to the unit. They got their stickers that day, and John got extra stickers because he did such a good story here. And I told Dr. Braun, I said, wait a minute. You know, hearing him, I know that's not real. Because I know that's a scene from a Star Wars movie.
Ben.
Where Luke Skywalker cuts open this beast he was riding, and all the guts spill out, and it smells really terrible.
Sounds familiar? Remember yesterday when we did the one about the Playboy Mansion? Tori said out of her mouth, that y'all know it's Allie Carter. She said out of her mouth, she was watching an episode of Pig something, I forgot. Pig, whatever, right? Where, you know, how they deal with the young ladies at the Playboy Mansion. When she was talking, and then she immediately flipped. So when I was there, and then she flipped back out of it and said, and also in the episode, then she flipped right back into that she was there. She take other people's stories and put herself as the main character. Y'all see it right here. Misha need to go somewhere and sit her crazy ass down.
I thought they smelled bad on the outside.
And when I heard John tell it, I knew he was telling me the story from the movie. But Dr. Braun wouldn't believe it.
Where does a 5-year-old learn about this? Not many 5-year-olds go in operating rooms.
Of all the members of the Burgess family, only the boy's father, Michael, was not thought to have been involved in the cult.
What did you make of it all?
Well, as far as I can, determine from what Patty had said and what the doctors had said, the boys were supposed to be being trained by Patty to participate in cult activities and then at some future date take over, I guess, a leadership role in this cult.
And when did they first get into the cult?
Shortly after birth, they were supposedly been trained as even as small infants to do these kinds of satanic.
So according to Shelley, Tori started at birth. That's why she believed that something happened to her at 3 months. Huh. Shit is sick, bruh.
Trolls to do the murders, to kill other children. They were supposed to have been trained to do all that.
But how could that have happened if you didn't know about it?
That's what had me confused, and as
Okay,
things.
so I definitely got to pause it right there. This is for educational purposes only. TikTok, we do not condone any violence over here. What you just heard was the TV in the background. So if AI caught that, that's the TV in the background. Cut that TV down. Hey, cut that shit down. So at TikTok, as you can see, that was the TV in the background. Yeah, I'm trying to make sure we good. Hold on. For real? Roll, roll, roll your boat. Roll gonna know exactly why I'm doing this. Roll, roll, roll your boat gently down the fucking stream. Merly, 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 Merly. Life is the. Thank you, Roro. All right, y'all, let's go. What you say, Edith? You said I've been trying to tell y'all to watch this. This it is man. I
Started, getting into a regular routine of all the, every week, every day, there was a new memory coming up. After my initial, shock and horror and really fear because I was afraid for my family's life, it became more and more difficult to believe all the stuff that happened.
Did you ever ask Dr. Braun where the bodies were, why there was no evidence, why?
Well, of course, those were the questions. Why aren't you doing something about this? How come the police aren't being involved in this? And the answer, of course, was that they were gathering evidence to be able to crack into this very secretive and dangerous
That is crazy. All right, YouTube, I should be back, man. I don't know what happened. No, y'all weren't tripping. It just ended. We good now, y'all. We good. See, now I gotta air my fucking studio out. I gotta air this shit out. Some demonic is in this fucking room. All right, that air this shit out. The fuck is going on? You said that was Rufus. Now Rufus left yesterday. Rufus knew I was going to talk about this today. Rufus got the fuck out of here. Rufus, he'll be back later on tonight. All right, y'all, let's continue now. Let's go. We good. Everything is good. I don't know what the hell just happened, but we good now. We straight. Let's go.
The reason why it was never uncovered was because these people ate the evidence, so that there wasn't any evidence, and that there were doctors involved with this, so that there were cover-ups as far as, medical findings and things. So there were always answers for every question that everybody had, that seemed reasonable.
The Burgess children were hospitalized for almost 3 years.
Our 5-year-old John, who went in, was there for 39 months. And Mikey was brought into the hospital at 4 years old, and he was kept on a children's psychiatric unit for 32 months. From the time I entered the hospital until we got the children out of the hospital by court order, it was 1,200 days.
And how much money?
We each had $1 million insurance policy that was almost completely topped out. So we're looking at $3 million.
This is a partial list of the Burgess family's hospital bills. Their bill for medication alone was in the tens of thousands of dollars. Hospital room and board was well over $1 million. Mary's hospital bills also amounted to millions of dollars.
The rough estimate of just adding up what hospital bills we do have and therapy bills that we do have, it's over $2.5 million.
Did you pay it?
My insurance company paid out that amount of money.
The cost of Mary's care at Spring Shadows Glen averaged $1,200 a day. According to the staff, this was not unusual.
The unit was very profitable.
Now, y'all, I ain't trying to sound like an asshole. I'm in the wrong profession. I'm finna open up a hospital. Now, with this hospital, it's no emergency rooms, no none of that shit. It's just all room and board. After you get done with the hospital across the street, you can come to my part of the hospital, and I charge your ass $3,000 a night, a day, to be in that room. As long as you got Blue Cross Blue Shield, if you got any of them top notch insurance companies, I take that. I don't take anything Medicaid. If you on Medicaid, I don't take it. Anything government related, we don't make government rooms. All the rooms top notch. King size bed, walk-in shower, porcelain on the floor, 3 flat screen TVs, full cable, with a fire stick that's unlocked, hot and cold water. Yeah. I'm in the wrong profession. Oh no, yeah, you gotta walk in and a fucking jacuzzi tub. Shit, for $3,000 to $4,000 a night, I gotta make sure you got running hot water. Yeah, with a kitchen. You got a whole kitchenette in this room. a refrigerator, microwave, and a stove with one pot, one pan, one fork, one spoon, one plate, and one bowl. So only one person can stay in there. Everything is one. I'm sorry, y'all. I needed this layoff. we in the wrong profession, y'all. Telling you that right now. Everybody gets served ramen noodles. Everybody gets served noodles. Now for extra $6,000, for $6,000 a night, we can go from noodles to spaghetti. If your insurance cover $8,000, we can go from spaghetti to hamburger helper. So it just depends on what your insurance cover.
Because it was billed at an intensive care rate rather than the normal rate on another unit. And these patients stayed for long periods of time.
Dr. Jack Leggett is a clinical psychologist who used to review mental health claims for insurance companies around the country. Beginning in the late 1980s, he noticed a startling pattern in the claims involving MPD patients. Most of them had generous insurance policies.
The focus was generally on patients with very rich benefits plans, and I would find in some cases that large numbers of people from single employers with those types of plans would suddenly be presenting with this diagnosis, an incidence of multiple personality way beyond anything reasonable that could be expected for a given population of individuals. So there was a targeting of the richer benefits plans.
Dr. Leggett discovered that questioning the bills of MPD patients could have unpleasant consequences.
I was met with the most hostile responses that I came across in all the years I'd done any kind of case management or clinical supervision, beginning with discounting the credibility of myself and the board-certified experienced psychiatrists and psychologists that I used, extending on to rather strange suggestions at times that I might be in somehow related to these satanic cults or the organizations I worked for.
Hospital staff also felt threatened.
That if you resisted the psychologist and the psychiatrist, you might be labeled as one of the cult. And that happened to some people, that they were considered, quote, cult members. And so you never...
So I just read something. Tony put, so I'm going to keep it all the way 100. I'm going to keep it all the way 100. Miss Outlaw is the real victim here. Tori is her child. The way Tori has slandered her mother's name. Now, the way they have slandered her name throughout social media. And now they are trying to target her on other social media sites like Instagram. So that's why I'm going this route. Because, you know, people can, once again, you could talk all day long, but you ain't gonna do shit. Second of all, why you gotta go after a woman? This just a side note, sidebar. Why you gotta go after a woman? Come after me. I'm the one that's out here putting your shit all over the internet. Come after me. But my bad, y'all was too scared to do that shit. Y'all too scared to do that shit. So y'all just rather pick on a woman. Grown ass man picking on a woman. Come after me. Come after me. I give you the full permission to come after me. You said Shelly got a little GV voodoo doll. She's sticking pins in it right now. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's why I keep getting up and go to the bathroom, because I feel like a bunch of shit is going down, coming out my sides. Mm-hmm. And listen, this ain't got nothing to do with none of y'all, because I'm watching the chat. This ain't got shit to do with y'all. Ain't shit to do with y'all. I'm talking about, because I'm the one that's pushing this energy out. So, listen, I'm good. I got all the help. Because trust me, people have been pre-warned. So I'm not worried about a damn thing. You said take a shower with no soap. I dropped the soap earlier today, but I didn't pick it up. It's still down there. So when I was locked up for 13 years, yeah, I did some hard time. You know, you learn very quickly not to drop the soap. Them guys that go drop the soap. Them guys that go drop the soap. The minute they bend over, they're like, this is exactly what they say. They try. Oh shit! I dropped the soap. The minute they bend over, they scared to they scared to holler. So all that. This the only thing that y'all. This how them thugs be sounding. You finished, brother. Are you finished, brother? Ooh. Ah. Oh. Ooh. All right, y'all. Listen. Listen, y'all. I needed to laugh. All right. You said I got you messed up. My bad. All right, y'all. The video is almost done. It's 56 minutes long, and we at 45 minutes. All right, so we got about 11 more minutes left. All right.
Quite new, and you might get labeled for that too. It's kind of like a witch hunt.
Listen. It's no way around this shit. This shit is fucked up all the way around. It's no way around this. So I want to make sure we understand this shit. It's fucked up.
According to Dr. Leggett, a lot of money was being spent, while the patients were not getting any better.
There's sort of a cliche, you have to get worse before you get better. The problem was people got worse without getting better.
Mary was getting much worse.
It was a snake pit. It was like hell. I'm sure that I would die there sooner or later, and probably sooner.
Man, that's messed up.
Somehow I had just gotten lost, and no one out there will even know that I'm gone.
Mary had been in Houston for 2 years when her insurance company began to push for a change in status. She was to be moved permanently to a nursing home. Somehow, she says, she gathered enough strength to resist.
I wasn't going. I refused to go. I decided that I had nothing to lose. I had lost everything. Everything. I decided I just wanted to leave and take my chances.
According to Mary, The hospital agreed to release her on the condition that she get herself a sophisticated security system to protect her from the cult, and that she find a therapist on the outside.
The doctor that I was released to, I continued to go to therapy with him, and it wasn't very long before he said on my second visit, he said, "Do you like being multiple?" And I said, "No, I hate it. It's awful. You know, I'm really working to integrate all these parts." And he says, "You don't have to be multiple anymore. You can just stop. Just stop. Stop working. Stop thinking about it. We'll just work on getting you physically healthy," because I was in awful physical health. And getting you off this medication, because I had to go through all the withdrawal. And he said, "That's enough. We don't need to work on your personalities. You don't have to be multiple anymore." When I stopped working on it, it dissipated. The memories started to stop. I found out that I could go outside my apartment and I never got shot at. I could go to the grocery store. I never got poisoned. I could make telephone calls. I wasn't being taped. Nothing was happening.
It stopped because I stopped following Dr. Braun's orders. I stopped taking the medication, and I stopped being involved in the hypnosis. And when my head started to clear after detoxing off of all of that medicine, and my critical thinking skills started to return, the switching stopped. All these goofy things that were going on weren't happening anymore. And I was able to finally take a look at this and say, wait a minute, where are all these bodies? Where are all these people that are supposed to be involved in this cult?
It took months and a court order to get the hospital to release Patty's two sons, who, the child psychiatrist claimed, needed long-term institutionalization. Today, John is 15 and Mikey 13.
They're young boys. They're starting to go through puberty. How's this going to affect them?
John now is just mainstreaming into a regular junior high school. Mikey still goes to a special school. It's just had a very large impact. It's like there's been a hole in their life, in a normal period of growing up. It's like a large chunk is just taken and is missing.
Mary was not as lucky as the Burgess family, who ended up together. When she got out of the hospital in Texas and returned home to Chicago, she found her husband and son, who had been in treatment with Dr. Sachs, still believed that she was a member of a cult and intent on killing them. She was still listed with the state of Illinois as a child abuser. Her husband had filed for divorce.
There's a emptiness, there's a void that I'll never be able to fill. And until they stop the therapy with Dr. Sachs, they won't be able to get out of this mindset.
In April of 1995, Mary met with Ryan and Joe at a court-appointed psychiatrist's office.
Let's make sure we get this clear. I was watching the chat, and y'all said it already. Tori can walk away from this. She really can. Easier said than done, right? When your only source is the same person that's looking for your downfall, that's supplying your downfall. That's your only source of help or refuge or anything, right? That's why she gets on these other platforms and just mark her mother, her biological mother, and say, why would I even go back to that hell place? I don't want to go back there. That woman is crazy. Do you see how she talk? That's how she is. That was the help from Shelley that made her believe that, right? From one of her altars. So she had to create that altar to make her force to believe. I mean, to force her to believe that her family, her intermediate family, or anybody that she know, will be a danger to her or anybody around her. That's why she had to stay away from her biological mother and say all this crazy stuff about her. Yeah, that is correct. Stockholm syndrome.
She had not seen her son in 4 years. He was reluctant to talk to her and did not want to see her again. In the end, the psychiatrist, Dr. Alan Ravitz, produced a report for the court. It reads, "I am of the firm opinion that Mary's initial difficulties were not a manifestation of multiple personality disorders secondary to ritualistic abuse. Nevertheless, Joe and Ryan continue to believe the cult abuse explanation. Both of them have placed their trust in mental health professionals who genuinely believe that Mary was both a victim and a perpetrator of this abuse. Continued treatment with a current mental health treatment team, even if issues of abuse are not addressed, covertly perpetuates the belief system that has destroyed this family."
Are they evil? I don't know how anyone could know what is known now and see what it has done to families. My family was not the first family. This had been going on for 15 years. And I now know of stories almost exactly like my story that were 10 years before this, under the same people, under the same doctors, in the same hospitals. So they knew what was going on, and they still continued to do it. Were they evil? I think that's pretty evil.
The Dissociative Disorders Unit at Spring Shadows Glen Hospital was shut down by the state in 1992.
Well, sometimes I think
Judith Peterson still sees patients in private practice. She is being sued by 10 former patients, including Mary S. Frontline asked Dr. Peterson for an interview, but in an exchange of letters with her lawyer, could not agree to the conditions she requested.
The history of these meetings...
Dr. Bennett Braun and Dr. Roberta Sachs declined to be interviewed for this program. They are still heading their Dissociative Disorders Unit at Rush Hospital in Chicago, which remains one of the leading centers for the treatment of multiple personality disorder. They have been sued by several of their former patients, the Burgess family and Mary S. among them.
Being that we owe a tremendous debt of gratitude to Dr. Brown.
After 7 years investigating claims of ritual abuse, the FBI concluded there is little or no evidence for allegations that deal with large-scale baby breeding, human sacrifice, and organized satanic conspiracies. It is up to mental health professionals, not law enforcement, to explain why victims are alleging things that don't seem to have happened.
Now, I don't want to take too much away from what just happened here. I'm going to let that marinate, and we just going to move on, all right? You know, I know everybody that watched this from the beginning all the way up to now. Yes, Pamela, it was a lot. If you was here from the beginning of the live all the way up to now, this was very heavy. So now we can understand, right? Not 100%, and probably not even 90%. I could say about a cool 70. we can see, we can somewhat see in the mind of Shelley and the people that's around her, you know, the people that she report to, the people that she talked to on a daily. You know, why did you pull Tori at such an early age? Now we know. Why is Tori the victim? Why she's y'all only victim? We partial know. Everybody may have their own conclusion, but I bet you most everybody's conclusions is going to pretty much have the same thing in common. Shelley, why don't y'all have other children? Why y'all talk about human sex trafficking survivors and you talk about all this other crap? Why is Allie your only spokesperson? Well, you have millions of other victims out here that y'all have advocated, y'all advocating for them, right? But more so children, more so children, right? More so children. Why is Allie the spokesperson? Let me guess. Just in case some shit goes to shit. Just in case this shit goes to shit. Y'all can clearly say Tori was not in her right mind. She was diagnosed with this right here. So y'all need to put her in the straitjacket and lock her up in the mental hospital. We didn't have nothing to do with that. Y'all go place blame y'all go put all the blame on Tori. See, we kind of figured out your plan just a little bit. But it's all right. The closer, we're going to keep going, getting closer and closer and closer and closer and keep calling out your bullshit. That's right. You said she never did just a master's degree, then got fired because she was so obsessed with Tori. Yeah, that's why. That's why she got fired. Randy's on top of it. That is correct. So, like I said, even though y'all see us make fun of Tori, you know, Allie Carter, right? And I'm still going to do it because now we know that Allie Carter is not a real person. So how you going to get mad? You believe Allie. Yeah, you believe somebody that was, you're believing a made up, you're believing a created person that got his or her life story written all the way out. Somebody sat there and wrote out Allie Carter's story already. And you believe that person. You believe something that doesn't exist, only in her mind. So keep saying you believe Allie. That's cool. I'm not going to be mad at you. I believe Allie Carter too. I believe that Allie is going to stick and stay loyal as much as she can with under the programming of Shelley. However, with what we're doing, this awareness, digging deep into their psyche, something is bound to break. Whether it's good or bad, we don't know. You can keep Shelley, you can keep Allie Carter, but I promise you, Tori Outlaw is going to be freed. I promise you that's going to happen. You can have Allie Carter you can put Allie Carter in somebody else. Tori Outlaw is going to be free. Woman, we got your number. And there ain't a motherfucking thing you can do about it. Stop going after everybody else. Stop sending your folks after me. I'm the one that's going live all the fucking time about this shit. Come after me. Y'all just like to prey on the weak. Cause y'all a bunch of weak motherfuckers. Come after me. I'm not afraid to show my face. I'm damn near showing my face almost every day on this bitch. Come after me. Now, so for everybody, you said, but their focus is applied clinical nutrition, botanical medicine. You know what? Major, goddamn. Major over on YouTube, I swear he's somewhere in the medical field. Because these words that he's putting on his screen, I never seen before. I don't even know how to pronounce some of these words. Some of these words is from China. I don't. Damn. That's why I'm so glad that this chat is being recorded. So, because what I do is I go back and watch the live, and I be looking through the chat, right? See if I missed something. So I'm glad. So, hey, man, listen. You said they never dreamed that Mama Outlaw was going to find out about this shit. But once again, it's the help of you all. It's the help of you all. Y'all the one that's it's the help of you all. It's the help of you all. Man, I show my face any damn day. But listen, y'all, I really appreciate y'all. Ranny. Thank you so much for all your hard work over on YouTube, ma'am. You are doing a lot over there and pushing the messages out. All right. And for everybody else that's doing it, man, I appreciate it. For everybody that has supported the channel, all the taps. Right now, we at 96,000 taps. Thank y'all so much for that. YouTube, thank y'all so much for hardening the screen and being active and coming back when y'all see me go live. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. I mean, it's no words. I really appreciate it, right? The more y'all support, the more I'm gonna go live, right? And the more we're going to keep exposing these two. All right, Edith, thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. The more y'all support this channel, it's just going to give me fuel, right? Fuel, because I already got somebody else that I'm working on right now. When we get done with Allie, when we get done with Tori Outlaw, I got somebody else. All right. So I really appreciate y'all. All right. You said it's you shining a light on these web of lies. It's all of us. It's not just me. It's not just me. It's all of us. All right. Oh, Major, you said Baxter University College of Neuropathic Medicine, National University of Health Science Colleges of Neuropathic Medicine, Western State University of Health Science. God damn. So y'all, Major got like 14 different degrees in medicine, in naturopathic. God damn. Y'all, he a 13-figure earner. That's all I got. He's a 13-figure earner. That's all I can say. The way them words look, he's earned he make about 13 figures a year. Just the way them words looking. Hell, I can barely even spell my first name, and he typing all this stuff in the chat. He make about 13 figures. I mean 13. Let's see, 13. Yeah, 13,000, 100,000 figures, something like that. I just make $13 a year. And even after my $13 a year, y'all, they still take taxes out of that shit. I make $13 a year. They still deducting taxes. They still pulling out insurance. All right. I'm tired of bank calling me talking about I owe them money. Like, y'all got to wait till next year I get paid. You know what I'm saying? Pay it, get it out of there. 13. There you go. That's why I used the number 13. Thank you for catching on, Maria. Yeah, Major, man. Shout out to Major, y'all. One school in Canada, Ontario College of Newark. God damn. Well, at least you actually been to Canada and you know exactly where you been in Canada. You didn't say you just went to Russia, right? And over the weekend and got your degree and came back on a B-2 stealth bomber. Just saying. You know, at least your shit legit. Jay-Z still haven't paid me yet, Fat Boo. It's going on 1 year now since P. Diddy and Jay-Z haven't paid me my money. Because when I first started covering Alley last year, folks were saying, Great Vibes, how much is they paying you? And I still haven't received my first paycheck yet. So Diddy, Jay-Z, if y'all see me, I only charge $7 a day to go live. You do the math, all right? I take, you can send me my money, via cashier's check. I take food stamps because, Beyonce had a baby, so even though she's almost, she's up in age, but, I know y'all still get some type of food stamps off that. Um, Did it? I know you was getting stamps because you got like 30 kids. So, Chance now, they really don't be eating at the house. They be eating out a lot. So you could take the money that you supposed to be feeding Chance now, and you can send that money to me, and I can use that to feed my family. So I'll let y'all know how much he's going to send me, when I get the money from Diddy and Jay-Z. Because Chance now don't be eating at the house because they said that the kitchen is too pretty and they don't want to cook on the stove because the maid be keeping the floors clean, and everything in the kitchen is made out of marble with polyurethane and shit on it. So if they eat in the kitchen too much, they can stain the air. And one thing Diddy don't like is you staining his air. That's why he put like 4 different humidifiers and air cleaners in the kitchen, and he put 2 in the hallway because when they be opening up the front door, the air from outside be coming in down that hallway, so he got to catch that disease, that COVID-19 from coming in the house, going into the kitchen, because that's where like all of his maids be in their kitchen like cooking and stuff. Because like during the freak off parties, the maids they got to stay in the kitchen and where they white. And then the butlers, they got to wear black. Even though all his butlers are white, they still got to wear black so they can blend in. Because if you a black butler and you got all black on and you try to go outside to be a butler and serve drinks, ain't nobody go see you because you dark as hell. Because they used to have like black butlers, like they be so black, they be like midnight black. They be like 2 a.m. under the bed black, right? Asphalt black. So Diddy learned his lesson because one of the, I think it was Denzel Washington, bumped into one of the butlers because he could see him, right? So he bumped into one of the butlers and spilled drink everywhere. And then I think it was Mariah Carey. She came over and slipped on the floor, and it was glass everywhere. And she came down on her back. Nick Cannon had to catch her, and Nick Cannon fell on his chest. That's why he had to get Mariah Carey tatted on him to cover up all those bruises. So, that's a little backstory. I don't know what the fuck I came up with this shit. But, y'all, I can go. Y'all, listen. Oh, yeah. Oh, the last thing. So, after when Nick Cannon fell, Diddy told him to go upstairs. I think it was 2 doors down on the left. It was a blue and black door that Nick Cannon had to go in, and he had to get that tattoo put on him because Diddy got his own tattoo parlor inside of his house, and one of the butlers, but that butler got fired for walking with too many drinks because he broke the law there. So what Mariah Carey did, she went on down the hallway past where Nick Cannon was getting his tattoo of her name. And when she went to the last room on the right, that's the door that actually went the hallway to the Playboy Mansion. So when she was walking down the hallway to the Playboy Mansion, it was LeBron James. He was walking towards Mariah Carey because he kept saying there's nothing like a Diddy party. So he just kept saying that in the hallway, walking towards the freak off. And she didn't know she was going to pass LeBron James. She just didn't realize, how tall he was. So she looked at him and gave him a handshake. And when he looked at Mariah Carey, he said, "There's nothing like a Diddy party again." So Mariah Carey said thank you, and LeBron James said the Playboy Mansion is that way. So she continued down the hallway, and then she came up to a white door. And when she went through the white door, it was another door. It was like a vault, and she had to have a code. Um, so when she put the code in, because she called Nick Cannon knew the code because he's always at the Playboy Mansion. So Nick Cannon gave her his code. So when she put his code in, when she opened up the door, it was 14 bunnies standing right there introducing her to the mansion, and she saw I think it was like 14 bunnies. It was 3 pigs. It was 7 dogs, and I think she said that it was an alligator dancing on a pole. So she. Y'all know when it's time to go to bed. When you tell somebody that that when you walked into the Playboy Bunny, it was a whole full alligator dancing on a fucking pole. Like, that shit is wild. You said I need to write stories, man, man, man. You said go to the hospital. That is not coming in my clinic. All right, y'all. Listen, man. Listen. I thank y'all. Once again, we gotta lighten up off this, right? I just did that for the smile because we can't go to bed with this with that level of intensity on our brain, right? So listen, when we end this live, if y'all can, man, take a cold shower, walk outside, ground yourself, do something, do something. All right. But I really thank y'all, man. It's much love for all of you all. Thank y'all so much for supporting the channel. TikTok, YouTube, y'all are amazing. Y'all are freaking amazing, man. So the only thing I ask y'all to do, you said there was a whole run on sentence. Yeah. So the only thing I ask y'all to do is, man, listen, just stay blessed. Keep your heads up. The main focus here is to get Tori away from Shelly, and we're going to make that happen. Right? Even if we gotta do a whole nother month or two on this, we're going to keep doing it. We're going to keep digging. Also, if you have any information that you want to send me regarding Tori or Shelly, you can send it to me via my email, which is greatvibes10@gmail.com. Also, everybody that has donated, thank you so much. Just a reminder, if y'all still want to donate, my Cash App, of course, it's Great Vibes on 10. If you want to follow my YouTube channel, please go to my YouTube tag, which is Great Vibes on 10. Go over there, subscribe, and also make sure you click that notification bell. YouTube. Also, you can go over to TikTok, Great Vibes on 10. Also, if y'all can, if you got Instagram, Great Vibes on 10. If you got Twitch, Great Vibes on 10. If you got X, Great Vibes on 10. All right, so just go over there. I'm pushing this story everywhere. Wherever I see an Allie Carter story, I'm creating an account and I'm pushing it over there. That's what I'm doing. All right. You said 101. Thank y'all so much for 101,000 taps. Freaking amazing. Freaking amazing. You said Hugh Hefner died in 2005. Wow. Thank you for letting me know that. All right. So thank y'all, man. Thank y'all so much. Also, if you haven't followed the channel yet, go ahead and follow right now before I end. Thank you so much. All right. Listen, y'all. Major man, good. Thank you, sir. Randy, Edie, Pamela, Fat Boo, everybody that's on YouTube, man. Thank y'all so much. All right. So listen, I gotta go. Good night, y'all. Y'all be blessed. Stay out of trouble, and hasalaka-laka-like-em. I heard somebody else say that.